because I am me. And because of that, it forced me to now have to experience myself for myself and to get to know myself so that I can know who this girl is, so that I can fall in love with her time and time again. And my love for myself is not rooted in anything other than who I am. I am delighted in who I am. I like the way I think. I like the fact that welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisady Celebe. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Another day, another video. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. So in this video, I want to share 10 things that I learned in my healing journey and in my journey of a happy life and contentment, in my journey with God, and most of all in my journey of overcoming mental health. So these are just 10 things that I learned that I'm going to share with you, and things that you can just take in your own life. I am responsible for my own life. And first of all, I just want to clarify and say God is the author and the finisher of our lives. God is the author and the finisher of our faith. You know, it's important to trust in God and to trust in what God can do and what God does. But then we are responsible in of our lives in terms of working hard to achieve things, working hard to be disciplined, to be the people that we want to be the people that we visualize ourselves as rather. It's our responsibility to work out our own faith and our salvation. It's important that you understand that there's no one who's going to come, is going to come and save you, is going to come and give you the 411. I had to learn that I am responsible for my own life, and that means that I have to work hard to commit to myself. I have to work hard to love myself. I have to work hard to make sure that, you know, I am my dream girl, you know, who my dream girl is, and having goals and taking care of yourself and working hard for yourself, and knowing that you are 100% responsible for your life. No one is going to come and it's going to come and like live your life for you and save you and everything like that. Even when we get to heaven, we are all going to be judged. When we get to heaven, we're all going to be judged, and each and every one of us, God is going to ask us that I gave you a life, I gave you dreams, I gave you aspirations, I gave you gifts, like, and I gave you talents. What did you do with that? You know, and we are responsible for that. You know, and it's important to take initiative. It's important to dare and to be brave and to say, you know what, I want to be my best self. I want to make God proud. I want to walk into heaven and hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant. Okay, everybody wants to hear those words, and make sure that you are responsible for your life and you take care of yourself and you're committed to yourself. And the second thing is personal development is so important. There's this quote that I heard at church that I don't know who the quote is by. Okay, and the quote goes, your level of success could never exceed your level of self-development. Your level of success could never exceed your level of self-development. Something that I feel like my life is a testament to is that the moment I started leveling up, the moment I started being secure in myself, the moment I started healing, I started working on myself, I started loving myself, I started taking care of myself, was the moment I started succeeding, even in the little things, even in the little promises that I made to myself, even in the big things. I started experiencing success in all of those things, because your level of success could never exceed your level of self-development. If you don't develop the self, you don't love yourself, you don't work on yourself, you don't work on your dreams, you don't heal the trauma and the pain and the sorrows of the things you've gone through, you're not going to be successful to the point that you want to go. Because the truth of the matter, yes, you can experience success and everything like that, but your level of success could never exceed your level of self-development. Okay. Self-discipline is the highest form of self-love. When you are disciplined and you say, you know what, I have made a conscious decision that I'm going to limit rather the amount of time that I sit and I watch TV. I am gonna pick up a book. I don't know, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna pick up a hobby. I'm gonna just try to be disciplined. That is a promise to yourself, and that is one of the biggest ways you can learn how to love yourself, because as you make those promises, as you make those small commitments to yourself, your inner self starts recognizing that, oh, okay, we're capable of being, we're capable of being honest, we're capable of keeping these promises. And more than that, your life is going to develop, you're going to become a better person, you're going to see the fruits of being disciplined. Being disciplined is respecting yourself, to say that I love myself, I respect myself, so therefore I will commit to those commitments. If I say that I'm gonna start studying, I'm gonna study. If I say that I'm not gonna do that anymore, I'm not gonna do that anymore, because I love myself, I respect myself, and I actually want the best for myself. So if I'm gonna make a commitment and I'm gonna be disciplined, and discipline is like a lifelong. Listen to your body. I learned how to listen to my body, because if you don't listen to your body will force you to listen to it. Okay, you're gonna have a mental breakdown, you're gonna experience a burnout, you're just going to go through the whole motions, because your body will force you to listen to it. And it's so important to listen to your body, and to listen to the needs of your body. And by listening to your body, I mean, when you need rest, take a rest, put out significant time so that you can rest. Even if it's like active rest, you are sitting and maybe you are doing something productive or whatever like that, but you are resting. Sometimes resting could just be like having a hobby that genuinely makes you happy and you feel peaceful and you feel restful. But more than the way you live your life and the lifestyle that you live, because if you're living a lifestyle that's not conducive to the wellness of your body, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna experience a burnout. You're gonna spiral, and everything is gonna go bad. But then, if you start taking care of yourself and you're proactive about your resting, and you listen to your body, and you learn how to listen to your body, and you relax and you take time to rest. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, there is something that is beautiful about planning. Planning removes procrastination. It removes this whole like thing of just being nervous, because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's going on. But if you plan your days, you plan your weeks, plan your months, plan that this is what I have to do, this is what I don't have to do, and you take care of your plan. And obviously not planning to like the next second and whatever like that, but if you plan your life, even not just planning, but even your planning could even be in the form of goals, and having weekly goals, having daily goals, having monthly goals, having mid-year goals, Q1 and whatever like that. Having those goals is so important, because again, that is a form of planning, because you have desires for that time and that space in your life. And when you do that, on top of all of that, of course, working towards those goals and everything like that. And it's so important to plan and strategize on how. Something that I did on Sunday, which it's my second time doing this, and I'm so happy. Something that I did on Sunday was I had a Sunday reset, where I basically just sat down And I figured out what are the things that I have to do for content creation, what are the things that I have to do for school, what are the things I have to do for my own personal development, how am I personally developing myself for this week. And I didn't plan for the specific days, but I planned for the week. That in the whole week, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do. And it's so calming and so relaxing because it gives me structure for my week so that I don't just wake up and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know what I'm going to do and I have a plan for what I'm gonna do. Number 6 is check your social media. Social media is so influential in our lives. It's so influential in how we carry ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we carry ourselves and how we look at ourselves. It's so influential, and it's important that you are following people that look like you, people that are similar to you, people that inspire you, and it's important to make sure that your social media is not a place that is of poison for you. Something that I used to do in high school was every time, like, I would just post like pictures and everything like that. And then I would start getting so caught up in followers that if I didn't have an X amount of followers and if I didn't have an X amount of likes, it would literally bother me to the core. And something that I would do was that I would completely, I did, like, I couldn't delete and obviously an Instagram page because I've never been able to do that. But something that I used to do was, so something I did was that I started a new Instagram page, which is the current one that I have. I started a new Instagram page, and then on that Instagram page I would remove the profile picture or the display picture, whatever, like that, and I would just put like flowers, and then I immediately went private. So I had 0 followers, 0 posts, and I started looking for Instagram pages that were helpful to me, and I started learning how to use social media to my advantage, and I started following people that I felt like, affected the way I looked at myself, affected the perspective that I have of myself. And then I started, and that helped in working on myself and in bettering myself. At number 7 on my list is educate that mind. It's so important that you educate your mind. And I don't just mean in your traditional academia, reading books and listening to podcasts. I'm listening to, or rather watching YouTube videos, TikToks. There's so many people that are having educational conversations on different topics, on politics, on beauty, on social media, on that you educate your mind. But one of the best ways that I am educating my mind is I've started reading nonfiction books. I am an avid reader. I read a lot, but for the longest of times, I've always struggled reading nonfiction books because you need to, like, be awake. You need to use your brain. And you need to be awake. With fiction books, they're telling you a story. Even if you're like not fully present, you get it, But with nonfiction books, is you're learning. You're learning something, and you are educating your mind, and it's so important. And I just did it. I made it a goal for myself for this year that I read nonfiction books, and this is my third. It's my second book that I'm reading this year. And this book is, if you want to screenshot, this book is First Things First by Stephen Convey, I think. I don't think I'm reading it well. If you want to screenshot. Okay. And this is such a great book. So this is the same guy that wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And this book just basically speaks about, he's teaching he's teaching about time management. He's teaching about learning how to keep the first things first, so the important things in your life, learning how to keep those things first, and how to take care of yourself, how to be an effective leader and everything. I just want to read a little from this book. As one wise man observed, the greatest battles we fight are in the silent chambers of our souls. We need to ask ourselves, am I willing to be the person of total integrity? Am I willing to apologize when I make mistakes, to love unconditionally, to value someone else's happiness as much as I do my own? Part of our own scripting and history may say, no, I'm not. That's not the way I was raised. That's not the environment. But our independent will say, wait a minute, you are capable of this. You don't have to be a function of your scripting or the social mirror, um, and the expedient path that you have the opportunity to now decide your response to all that ever has been, to all that ever has happened to you. Whether others do it or not is irrelevant. You have the power to look at your own involvement, to observe your response, and to change it. To those who say, come on, do you know what it's like out there? We say, come on, do you know the power that you have within you? We don't want to offend, and we don't want to offend. We say it in love. Our lives are the result of our choices. To blame and to accuse other people, the environment, or other intrinsic factors is to choose to empower those things that control us. We choose either to live our lives or to let others live them for us. By making and keeping promises to ourselves and to others, little by little, we increase our strength until our ability to act is more powerful than any of the forces that act upon us. This is first things first. Okay, this is a great book. Highly recommend that you pick up a nonfiction book and you read a book that will educate your mind and will help you better your life and will help you make better choices and everything like that. And again, if you want a screenshot. Number 8 is solitude. Something that I started doing last year is I started going on solo dates. And that's just one way of solitude. Another way of solitude is just spending time with myself. And in that time, in that space of solitude, it was hard because you're sitting with, and with just solitude, I think also this whole solitude thing is like, I don't know, it's like getting lost in translation. Rather, it's so important that in that solitude you are present. You are present to your own mind, you're present to your own body, you're present to your own spirit, you're present to your own thoughts and your own desires. It's something that I'm still working on, but it's so important to learn how to be alone, how to enjoy your time and your space alone. And in that journey and in that time and in that space where you are learning how to be alone and you're enjoying your time by yourself, you get to know yourself, you experience yourself, you experience your own personal desires and the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and you just learn how to be alone. And when you know how to be alone, when you finally are around people, or when you are around people in general, you move and love and experience not from a place of desperation because you know that you have a home in yourself, but you move and you experience from a place of just experiencing. You know, you're not desperate for people to be around you because you're not scared to be alone and to be by yourself and to be with your thoughts. So it's important to learn how to sit in solitude, not loneliness, but solitude. You know, because the experience of solitude is learning how to enjoy your own time and your own space and your presence by yourself with no one else. Number 9 is self love. It's so important to learn how to love yourself. It's so important to learn how to hold space for yourself. It's so important to learn to experience yourself and to learn about yourself and to say, this is who I am, these are my desires, these are my experiences, and these are the things that I want for myself, and everything like that. And it's so important to go through that with yourself. And something that I learned as well is that something that God's love for me inspired in me is that my love for myself shouldn't be rooted in my accolades, things that I've achieved, things that I haven't achieved, you know, because God doesn't love us because we've achieved things. God doesn't love us because we're perfect or we're good or we're this and we're that, because God loves us because He is good and His love for us is dependent on Him. But also God loves us because He loves us, the essence of us, who He created for us to be, you know, us in our individuality, you know, in our quirks and in all of the things that make us different. And that taught me how to love myself the very same way. that my love for me should never be rooted in the fact that I've achieved certain things or because I am a certain person, but truly and genuinely and honestly because I am me. And because of that, it forced me to now have to experience myself for myself and to get to know myself so that I can know who this girl is, so I can fall in love with her time and time again. And my love for myself is not rooted in anything other than who I am. I'm delighted in who I am. I like the way I think. I like the fact that I listen to jazz. Okay, if you didn't know, I listen to jazz. I like that. I don't care that other people wouldn't get it. I like the fact that I'm me. I like the fact that I am a little goofy and everything like that because I genuinely love myself and I enjoy myself and I enjoy my presence. And I enjoy the fact that I can be present. I can be present rather. And it's important to go in that journey with yourself, even with self-love. When you learn how to love yourself and you hold space for yourself and you appreciate yourself, you don't love yourself from a place when you are around other people and other people give you love. You don't now love other people from a place of desperation to say, I want you to be around me, I want you to love me. But because you hold space for yourself, number one, and you love yourself and you know the love that God has for you, you're now able to love other people freely just to love because your cup is full. Because you are not saying to people, you are here to fill my cup, but your cup is already full. In fact, it's overflowing, because God loves you and God appreciates you. And you also love yourself and you appreciate yourself and you love yourself for who you are. So therefore, even when you're around people, it's not a thing. Even when someone doesn't love you the way you want to be loved, you're able to walk away because you're like, I love myself and I hold space for myself, and my cup is full and I'm joyful and I'm happy. Number 10 is I have not been given the spirit of fear, but I have been given the spirit of power, of love, and a sound mind. That is 2 Timothy chapter 1 from verse 7. And what I have learned in that is that being courageous is not being in a place where you are not afraid. Being courageous is being afraid, being fearful, and saying, not even being fearful, being afraid and saying, I'm still going to go ahead and I'm still going to do it. But more than anything, remembering what 2 Timothy chapter 1 from verse 7 says, that I have not been given the spirit of fear, that I have been given the spirit of power from God, the spirit of love for myself, the love of God for me, the love of Jesus for me, for what he did for me on the cross, and the spirit of a sound mind, meaning in every and any situation that I could have or I could experience, I have been given the spirit of a sound mind, meaning God has not given me anxiety. The opposite of a sound mind is an anxious mind. God has not given me the spirit of anxiety. Anxiety is not my portion, Depression is not my portion because depression is also not a sound mind. That is not my portion. I have been given the spirit of peace. Other translation says I have not been given the spirit of timidity, meaning I have not been called to be timid. I have not been called to be shy, to be afraid, to be scared, but I have been called to be brave, to be courageous. Just like what God said to Joshua in Joshua chapter 1, that be courageous, because God sent you out and God called you. The fact that you are alive and you are on earth, God called you. There's no one that has ever been born and God didn't know that they were born. Okay, God has a plan for you and God called you and he desires for you to be here and for you to be you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Mwah. See you in the next video. Bye.